Hello and welcome to News Libre Sports. I'm Moses Enchodo, and of course I'm joined by Emmron. And we're going to be discussing what we always talk about when we're out together, that is Formula One. Emmron, first and foremost, welcome back.
Thank you, thank you.
Formula One gets to return this weekend.
Yes.
We're going straight into the first race of the season, and that is with Australia. And of course, there's been so much that's been happening, but most importantly, the issue of coronavirus. Now, with our producer, Mr. Shafiq, we found out that Dettol actually has always had somewhere below there that their product kills coronavirus. So if you think we're lying, please walk up to any supermarket or any shop and look for that Dettol disinfectant, and of course be able to clarify on that. But of course, like we've been saying, coronavirus is not the first disease that has affected Formula One. In 2003, SARS was also one of those that really affected Formula One, but it wasn't really as big as coronavirus is at the moment. Probably it wasn't as big simply because the media wasn't as pronounced as it is currently. But to get to the real gist of the matter, looking at Formula One, the first thing that I want us to talk about, we have got in news that 3 members from Formula One, we have 2 from Haas,
Yes.
and then 1 from McLaren, who have been quarantined
As a precaution.
as precaution, because they were seen with fevers, and of course they have collected their blood to go and carry out tests and see if they have the coronavirus. So, what do you make of this? Do you think if say in the event that this goes and we find that those 3 members actually have the coronavirus, could there be a possibility of it being cancelled?
Absolutely. I mean, it should be a no-brainer at this point. If even just one of them comes back positive with the coronavirus, the event should be cancelled. I mean, it's not worth it at this point.
Because we also know that by the time they were picked up, they were already in the different grids.
Yes.
They were already interacting with the different team members.
Yeah.
So how many of their team members could actually have been affected is the big question. So we will definitely be keeping tabs on this, and hopefully we'll be keeping you informed. Just look out for our social media platforms, that's at News Libre Sports or at News Libre UG, and of course on Facebook at News Libre UG as well, at News Libre. You'll just be able to pick up all our updates regarding Formula One as we wait to see whether the first race of the season actually does get to happen. Next up, Marco Helmut, he's come out and said, should Mercedes be allowed to use their steering and
Dual axis
steering, is going to create a bit of a riot after. Do you think that this will happen? And because I remember that already the FIA had come out and said, you know what, it is legal. They're within the legal limitations.
It's not legal.
Yeah.
But Mercedes went to the FIA before the season started a long time ago.
Yeah.
And the FIA only gave them leeway to use it this season.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem to bother anyone else apart from Red Bull. And with good reason. I mean, it's not legal, so they shouldn't be allowed to use it.
Yes.
Simple as that. And if they use it, Helmut Marko has said Red Bull are actually going to protest.
I mean, we talk about Red Bull and how they are ready to protest. They seem like they have become the class monitors of sorts.
But there is a meme of sorts in Formula One. If you can't beat them, try to get them banned. Simple as that. Like last year, everyone was asking where Ferrari getting the power from. They're trying to investigate the engine. If you can't catch them, try to get them. Simple as that.
True, because that's the same thing that Red Bull did. They realized that Ferrari's engine had so much power, and they went and made a report, and up to now it's actually still causing a little bit of a rift. Of course, the FIA did come out and clearly stated that they were unable to find whether Ferrari were operating outside the jurisdictions or within the jurisdictions, and so they came to a bit of a settlement. Of course, that is something that the teams are yet to answer.
But then the thing is, with that engine issue, it's quite delicate because the FIA do not have substantial evidence. I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
But I mean, when the FIA tell you, like in the press release that they released last week,
yeah,
when they tell you we did not have enough evidence, so to speak. So we could not proceed with the case. So we settled for an agreement with the team, you know. So that's, in a way, it looks shady, but if you look at it, it actually saves face for both parties. Because let's suppose, because you cannot investigate such a complex matter without releasing Ferrari's IP. And this IP is going to be carried into next year. And probably the next 4 years, 5 years, you get. So everyone will have access to Ferrari's entire IP. You get. Their engine IP and their philosophy. And the FIA don't want that. And if that happens, Ferrari will obviously threaten to leave Formula One. Guaranteed.
That is why they had already threatened that if things go out of hand, they will be leaving.
Because this is an engine investigation, and with an engine investigation, you need to be as transparent as possible. So you have to release the engine specifications and all that, for all the other teams to read. And
could it be a case that the other teams want to be able to chip into what Ferrari has designed for this season?
Of course. I mean, we can't deny that. Of course, they wanted that. But I mean, it won't happen. It won't happen.
Don't see it happen.
It can't. It will not happen. They will make so much noise, but I mean, it won't. They all know it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Of course, in the other news, Renault have signed a new sponsorship deal.
Yes.
With which company?
DP
World.
Yeah, DP World.
Oh yes, of course. And now they're changing the team name. It's going to be Renault DP World F1 team. Of course, that is fantastic.
I hate that name.
It's too long.
No, I just hate that name.
Why?
Renault F1 team was
fantastic.
Just perfect. It's like Scuderia, Mission Win Now, Ferrari F1 team. I mean that's good.
Or Sports Pesa,
Force India.
Good
Lord. I mean,
too long. But I mean, I think a point needs to reach where FIA limits all those naming rights to just keep it within the perimeters of the team saying we are.
I don't think the FIA have the jurisdiction to tell them how they can't name their teams. I mean, you can't tell them what to do.
Because the sponsor wants to come with
something. Exactly.
Okay. Of course, the other issue we now have to talk about is tomorrow was going to be a press conference. And as we were doing a bit of research, I found out that they are putting a 2-meter perimeter zone around the drivers. And I think when you look at that, of course, it gives the journalists an opportunity to interview the drivers, but also it protects the drivers because, like we say, the drivers are always going to be the primary target because
they are an asset.
Yes, definitely. I mean, you're investing millions of dollars into these guys to be able to produce results week in and week out. That's a massive investment that you don't want to lose to a coronavirus, you know.
And that's actually a good move on their part. The drivers take part. I mean, everyone's lives are equal, yes, but if we're being honest,
in Formula One, more like
it's money that, I mean, money makes the world go round. So at the end of the day, you always want to protect your most valuable asset,
and which is the driver.
Exactly.
Of course. Now we get to the other thing. Friday will be practice session, and then on Saturday we'll be having qualifying. And what do you think is going to change after what we saw in the testing period down in Barcelona? What do you think is going to change? Do you think Ferrari are going to suddenly come out as heavyweights that everyone is suspecting them to be, or is Matteo Binotto actually truthful when he says they lack the pace that they are suspected to have? And looking at it all, do you think that McLaren have all it takes to be able to ensure that they can compete against Renault and the likes of Force India, the likes of Alfa Romeo, Alfa Tauri? Do you think they have that?
Well, let's start with the midfield. Let's get this out of the way. What I expect, personally, what I expect, Force India, I mean, they have the Mercedes 2.0. Essentially, they'll obviously be front runners in the midfield. That's if they know what they're doing. And if they don't, I expect McLaren to be the front runners. And the three teams I expect to be jousting for fourth position are Renault, McLaren, and Force India. Then the rest will.
You don't see Haas in that conversation because Haas was already is already thinking about quitting Formula One.
I love Haas, but
just 2 years into Formula One, and they already think about quitting.
Is it 2 or 3? 2016. They came in 2016.
So it's about 4 years.
This is their 4th year in Formula One. So we'll see. I mean, at the end of the predictions are a toss of a coin, so to speak. But you can be sure with the midfield, at least you can tell with those teams. But the top 3, that the biggest question mark is around Ferrari. I mean,
it's because of how they have been performing in testing. You can't really be able to tell where they're going to be or what kind of power they possess.
And also Binotto coming out and being adamant, we are not. And then it
raises a lot of question marks,
right? But if it actually happens and Ferrari come out with the fastest car, this will be the biggest sandbag in the history of sandbagging. Because the guy even sent an encouragement letter to his team. We were like, essentially what was telling them in the letter was, we don't expect to be at the top or even a challenge for the race win come Australia, but we will develop the car. And
so if he comes out and wins in Australia,
that will be the biggest sandbag in history.
I mean, it would be so scripted by Ferrari.
Exactly.
But wouldn't that also raise questions about the irregularities in their engine?
Yes, definitely. Because I think like everyone will now like in the cyberspace age, everyone is a journalist and everyone has access to information and everyone can air their opinions. If it actually comes out that if Australia, like come Q3 on Saturday and come the race and Ferrari are actually competitive, they get pole or they challenge for pole or they challenge for the win or they get the win. There will be question marks around it. Were they actually deliberately tuning their engine down to maybe to fool the FIA second sensor, maybe the FIA, because they installed a second sensor, not only in Ferrari but all the other teams. All of them have the second fuel sensor to try and curb the issue of fuel mixing and all that.
So of course we're going to have a special episode where we'll talk about the different nitty-gritties. We'll have broken down episodes. We'll try and see how we can break down Formula One so that anyone out there who needs to understand Formula One can be able to understand. But like we say always in Formula One, there are so many nitty-gritties that if you want to understand all of them at once, you'll find yourself at a head-on collision. So please go out there, read up. YouTube is also a very, very resourceful platform.
Reddit.
Reddit. It's reddit.com.
Then you go to r/F1 technical. That's for guys who actually want to get into the sport. r/F1 technical. You have guys who are giving technical questions and technical insights. Then if you just want to get broad information, r/F1 on Reddit.
And of course, just go read, expose yourself out there. For adrenaline junkies, Formula One is your sport. I mean, if you're going to watch a rally, why not watch Formula One? It's almost the same thing, only that Formula One works on a little bit of a different aspect altogether. It's like as if they're using so many forces from around the globe. But that is of course me and Emmron for today. Who's going to be your Formula One winner? Because the first race is going to start over the weekend. We don't want to start predicting after the first race. Let's predict now.
Albon.
Alex Albon for world champion?
No. Australia.
For Australia.
I'm just going out of the blue. Like I'm going with the win and just saying Albon.
Alex Albon.
I just feel Albon is going to win it.
I have a feeling that it's going to be Daniel Ricciardo for this one.
Are we just trolling?
Anyway, my ideal winner, of course, is going to be Charles Leclerc.
But personally, seriously, I feel Alex Albon.
I have a conviction that's going to be that is Charles Leclerc. But
if Ferrari are competitive, Sebastian Vettel. I'm going with. If Ferrari are competitive, I'm going with Sebastian Vettel.
But of course, the world champion Lewis Hamilton cannot go without mention. He's the defending world champion. Is arguably the best driver on the grid. His utilization of the tires is second to none. His ability to grind down results is second to none, and you can't put him aside. Of course, for us, we're throwing out names out there, but we all know that at the end of the day, if you're going to win Australian Grand Prix, you have to beat the very best. And who is the very best? Lewis Hamilton. Of course, Valtteri Bottas will want to say something because he won how many races last season? 4, 5? about 4, 5 races last season. 8 races last season. So Valtteri Bottas will have something to say. Max Verstappen, who many consider to be the most, well, Mad Max on the grid, is also someone to look out for. But like I said, for me, if we're going by banter, it's going to have to be Daniel Ricciardo. But I think Charles Leclerc will definitely be the winner for this race.
If you're going by banter, I'll go with Bottas. Banter.
Let me go and watch the race. I'll see you guys later.